Hello everyone and welcome to Best of the Month. This month I'm joined by some awesome creators talking about the games they've enjoyed playing most in the last month. They don't have to be brand new games, some of them certainly are, and some, well, like my pick, has been out for a few years. So let's jump into it, and well, I'll take the first spot for once. I have really loved Thunder Road Vendetta, in particular with Maximum Chrome, which is, it's not necessarily an expansion in itself, but it's a big box version that crams all of the expansions in. Well, apart from the new one that's only just being kickstarted. Now, I've predominantly been playing this on Tabletop Simulator, where there is an official mod. You can go on there and play the base game, which in itself is so much fun. Think Mad Max, the films, and all that sort of, you're in a desert, you're driving sort of battered up different sized cars. Now you're sort of ramming into each other in sort of a destruction derby style thing as you're going along this racetrack of sorts. It's through the desert, like Mad Max. Now what absolutely makes this is the fact that you're in a race, but most of the time the race does not end at the end of the fifth tile. It actually ends when someone's been eliminated and you get to the next tile. And that's just, it's always the case where it's just like someone's just about to get over to the next tile, they get destroyed by a helicopter, then someone slams into someone else, causing them to go into a hazard. It's a mine, they've exploded, where have they gone? Oh, they've actually been sort of jettisoned a few spaces forward. Oh no, technically that's helped them even though they've taken damage. And it's dice based, it's just utter chaos as you are slamming vehicles into each other. Like I said, I've been really enjoying this one on Tabletop Simulator in particular because it's allowed me to play a game that, well, I couldn't be playing with people that are very far away from me, the other end of the country sort of thing. So I've really enjoyed that and would highly recommend people giving it a go like that, because then you can go out and buy it if you have sort of liked it, and we have loved it. The expansions add just pure awesomeness into the mix, adding player powers, car powers, new sort of tiles into the mix, the ability to play as motorbikes or a big rig. I still haven't actually played as the big rig. I kind of want to do the motorcycles first though, but you know, you can set yourself on fire, go over jumps, land in toxic goo, sandworms can appear. Once you've thrown an expansion in, it's just amazing. It's just pure chaos, pure fun. You sort of switch your brain off, roll some dice, and well, try and basically smash into each other. It's a lot of fun, and that is Thunder Road Vendetta. I know lots of people have sort of shouted it out before, and now I am as well. But let's see what some others have been picking this month.
This month is super tricky for me. We went up to Aircon and we had the opportunity in the evenings to play lots of different games with a lot of our friends, and they make it the great experiences that turn a game into like a game of the month kind of play for me. And there was so many to choose from with a lot of friends, but I think just pipping at the post this month is one of my favorite games anyway, so I think that help matters, and it's Dwellings of Eldervale. We hadn't actually managed to get it to the table for a little while, so I was a teeny bit rusty on the rules, but we played with our good friends Rosie and Doug from Cozy Board Games. If you don't know them, you should check them out. And it's just such a wonderful game. I love how you put your people out. You all have slightly asymmetric things in terms of where you can put things, how far your dragon might fly, or different things like that. And when you bring those workers back in, you're not losing a turn. You're getting to do lots of stuff with it. You've managed to sort of build out a little engine to be able to do stuff as you bring them back home again. And even if you lose a battle, you're still going to get an extra sword to help you out next time. So there's lots of little tweaky bits in this game that just, I think, really sing. And I'm very much looking forward to comparing Dwellings with Andromeda's Edge, which is kind of a sort of reincarnation with a space theme. You can see how that compares to this. But at the moment, Dwellings is one of my favourite games. I love those monster,
Mhm.
noisy faces as they go along, although it was very difficult to hear them in a convention hall. So they kind of lost that slightly at Aircon, but usually when we get it to the table at home, they just add that little bit of drama that's so much fun.
It does have a massive table presence, and lots of people coming round having a look at what we're playing
Yeah.
because, yeah, it's quite an investment in time to fit into an evening
Yeah, it's
at
the
a
evening's
convention.
event for that
Um,
night. Yeah.
Now, another game I had never played, which felt like a bit of a gap in my kind of board game playing experience, was Ready, Set, Bet.
Mm,
Now, a lot of people absolutely love this game, but we'd
yes.
never really played it because we'd never had the opportunity really to play it. You really need to get a lot of people to gather around to really invest and get involved in the game.
Yeah.
So, if you don't know what it is, it's basically a horse racing game where one player is rolling dice to determine where the horses on the board are going to move. And how good an experience is largely depends on how good the person rolling the dice is at getting everyone enthusiastic. If you're just rolling
Yeah.
the dice and you're like 5, 11, 8, not fun for anyone. But we were really fortunate the person rolling our dice was like, and 7's made an early lead, and now 8 is breaking on the outside, that leaves 10 in the dust, and now 11 has finally broken through there, making a headway into the final quarter now. And it got us so involved because he was so
Yeah.
good at that kind of patter. If you're a bit self-conscious about doing that, don't worry, there's an app that works really well.
Yes.
But it was just so much fun to
Yeah.
really get involved in that, get enthusiastic about, horses. I made the foolish mistake of thinking that 7, that's the most common number on a duo of dice. Let's
Yeah,
just
this
back.
isn't Can't Stop.
No,
This is,
let's just back the 7 horse. I can't lose. But there's a really clever system that if you roll the same combination of, or the same number on a combination of dice more than once, they get a bit of a boost, except for 7. So I'd fully back this horse. I was
Yes.
right behind horse 7, only they kind of plodded along very slowly, and the other people on the perimeter were just aching ahead.
Zooming past.
And it
zooming
was,
past.
yeah, it was so much fun to get enthusiastic about this, and those kind of jokes then become part of the experience. So then from
Yes.
then on, it was like, oh, you're not betting for 7 now, are you?
Well, you went all in for 7, filling up every single line of the betting possibilities there. And I think that really, those sort of things that happen during the game, particularly if it happens in the first round, you end up having this sort of continual joke throughout the other rounds of the game. Which, I mean, every time Julian even edged his chip towards a 7, we were all guffawing. Oh, don't do it again.
Yeah. So yeah, Ready Set Bet, really great game.
Yeah, and I like how there's an extra potential of betting rule each time a new round comes out. You've got a new opportunity to bet for something different. I like how that mixes it up as well.
Hey guys, we're around the board and we're going to tell you what our favorite game in March was. For me, my favorite game that I played was Hamburg. It's a retheme of Bruges, and this game was incredible. It was wonderful, except there was no writing on the cards. It was all iconography, which is almost makes the game unplayable. So I'm out there trying to find the replacement cards that I desperately need so I could play this wonderful game once more. John, what was your favorite game you played in March?
Mine's got to be Age of Comics: The Golden Years, which I mean, as amazing as Age of Comics: The Golden Years is, you're also wondering, wow, when is the expansion going to come out about the Silver Age, and you'll have different types of comics to build. But needless to say, it's amazing the way it is. I love building those comics, and I love the little comic covers that you use. It's one of those cool games where it's a Euro that has amazing components that make it just amazingly playable. Chris, what you got?
Sounds amazing.
Yes, it is.
Amazing. So my game is a game that's going to have mass appeal. It's 18MS. It's an 18xx game that's made for 2 to 4 players, and it actually really does play in 2 to 2.5 hours. Plays great at 2 player, 3 player, 4 player. I'm telling you, if you play 18xx and you love them, and you don't have 18MS yet, get it. Get on all around or all the board games. Pick it up. It's fantastic.
I got
18MS. You just play that once a month, I guess. Andy, what you got?
So, one that I've been playing lately a lot that actually came out last summer, but I didn't get to play it very much, but I've played it lately quite a bit is Wild Tiled West, which has been a lot of fun. It's from Dire Wolf Games and Dire Wolf, and they it's a tetro.
A few moments later.
Polyomino? Is that what you're looking for?
Polyomino placement game, a tile laying game, based in the Old West, and it's a lot of fun. There you go.
They did a lot of those in the Old West.
Booyah.
That's right. Well, hey guys, thanks. And until next time, we'll see you Around the Board.
Hey buddies, welcome to Amass Games. My name is Simon, doing Best of the Month. This is for March 2024. Here's the game. It is Walk and Roll. Not a big fan of the pun on the words, but actually it is a roll and write game. Makes a lot of sense. And you are rolling dice in a wok. So here we have some pens. They are dry erase pens. You are able to reuse these boards. And what you're looking to do is get the most points. You score points by crossing off various places on here, various dishes and platters you can do. Complete 3 dishes or platters in any combination. That is a platter. These are dishes. And of course, you're trying to see if you can get the best score. What's good about this game in particular is you get menus. If you can roll when you get your dice, and if you're going first, you're rolling 2 extra red dice. You're keeping the red dice for yourself. Everyone else will get to use those white dice until it's their turn, and then they can roll with red dice. And you get a maximum of 2 extra re-rolls when you roll your dice. You can keep something and not re-roll it, and then re-roll it again later. It's up to you. And like I said, coming back to these menus, why is this good? Well, if you happen to get 2 menus, you can cross off one of these, or circle, or highlight, whatever you want to call it, and ultimately get you an extra noodle, or broccoli, or chicken, or prawn, or rice. Basically, it lets you to, the next time you get one single menu, you can then use one of those things again, or get 2, you can get 2 again, or you can choose to go for over here, get 3 menus, and you can get extra bonuses for the amount of these things you unlocked, or amount of these things you've crossed off. That's it. This is a game from 2022. I've got the expansion as well, the Korean expansion. Got to try and find that. But so far, this has been a very interesting game to play. Very good rating for me. There's also a advanced side as well, which I know some people prefer. And you can extra things which make your board unique for everybody. So it gives you something unique to play with. That has been Walk and Roll. There's 4 different other games I've got with the word walk in them, which I'll be bringing to the table as well. So you might want to check them out. If you want to learn more about the expansion and also this, obviously check out the channel, and I look forward to speaking to you about that one. But that has been obviously another roll and write game, up to my 45th or so now. And I hope you found this of interest, and of course do let me know. So there we go, Walk and Roll. And that is by Origame, Daryl Chow, designer of Artemis Project. So check out my video for that too. A modern Asian dice game. I don't know if that really was needed on the box. Bit of a bland box cover for me personally. But no, interesting. And of all things, I'm having some Asian food again tomorrow. Thanks so much for watching for now. Back to the table.
Hi, I'm Josh from the YouTube channel joshyaks, but enough about me. I'm here to talk about the best game that I played in the month of March, which was Lords of Zidit. This is a programming game in that players have to pre-plan all their actions for the round and then play it out to see what happens. What's interesting about that is the fact that only 2 months ago, my favorite game played in January was Colt Express, another programming game. It means that now I just have to get Kings of Air and Steam to the table, and I'll have played all 3 of my favorite programming games this year. But I've really enjoyed Lords of Zidit ever since its first iteration, which was a game called Himalaya. As much as I miss the yaks from Himalaya, I ended up selling it in order to get the 2.0 version, which did a couple of other interesting things. But what really sets apart Lords of Zidit from other games is its scoring system. So there are 3 elements that are being scored at the end of the game, and these are 3 elements that players are accumulating points towards as the game progresses. So players are basically collecting armies and then going to fight monsters, and every time they defeat a monster, the monster offers 3 rewards, which are the 3 scoring systems, of which players can choose 2 of them each time they defeat a monster. So the 3 rewards they can take are, they can take gold, which is then put behind the player's screens so that players cannot keep track of how much gold other players have collected. They can collect harps and put those harps out into the regions on the board. Basically, the minstrels are going out into the lands and singing your praises, and it's more or less a area majority type of scoring thing. And then the third thing they can acquire are towers that they can build in the cities. And the higher the tower, the more points will be accumulated. So these 3 things are evaluated at game end, but at the beginning of the game, all 3 of these scoring mechanisms are randomly kind of shuffled up and placed out in order of how you're going to evaluate them at the end of the game. So, for example, the game that I played in March was a 4-player game with myself, my 2 kids, and my gaming friend Paul. And the way it got set up for us is that at the end of the game, the first thing we evaluated was who had collected the least amount of gold. So at the end of the game, all 4 of us harps revealed the amount of gold we had collected, and one player with the least amount of gold was eliminated from the rest of the scoring. They were out. Then we went on to evaluate the harps, the points gained by having majorities of minstrels in the regions on the board, and then whoever had the fewest points from that scoring mechanism was eliminated, leaving only 2 players left to evaluate the final thing, which was the number of tower pieces they had built. And of the final 2 players, whoever had built the most towers was the winner. So it's a very clever scoring system that forces players to not neglect any of the 3 scoring mechanisms. But what was fun is that this was my first time for my boys playing this game, and they both enjoyed it a lot. So it was a big success, which made me happy that hopefully we'll be getting it back to the table again soon. Cheers.
And, well, that about wraps us up. I hope you've enjoyed the show this month. And make sure you go back and check out Tabletop Tea Time as well as previous Best of the Months, because it's all of these creators that have joined me, many more. They sort of come in, out and do different months and different shows. We're talking about different games all the time. So, you know, just because it's last month doesn't mean it's out of date, because it's still awesome board games. So go check out previous shows in the series, and also the links to the sort of creators that have been on today's show, that'll be in the description box downstairs. So go and check their channels out, share the love. That's kind of what this is all about. And until next time, well, have a absolutely fantastic month gaming.